What's up, guys? Welcome back to Michigan Muckraker. My name is Michelle, and thank you for joining me this morning, Wednesday, March 29th of 2023. Today, I want to share with you a timeline that I created of the key players of the Gotion EV battery deal. A quick announcement, 1 week from today, those same key players were supposed to be on a panel answering questions in person 1 week from today on April 5th at 6:30, but unfortunately it's online only now. I'm going to get into that story later this afternoon because this video is going to be long enough as it is. Before I get started, let me make sure that I am live. You guys can hear me, hopefully. Looks like an error occurred, but I'm live, so let me know. Before I start this timeline, I want to say that everything I am sharing is public knowledge about public figures. I have never met any of these people except the township supervisors, and we were just in the same room. The Green Township Supervisor, Jim Chapman, said hi to me by name, I think because of the YouTube videos, and I said hi back, but that's the extent of our relationship, if you want to call it that. Bill Senek, I was in the same room, but we never met, and Dr. Bill Pink was in the same room, but I didn't even know it until I watched a video later on. So, wanted to get all these disclaimers out. I do not share anything personal because this is not personal. I mean no ill will towards any of these people. This is about sharing professional and political facts about the key players in the Gotion EV battery manufacturing plant deal. Just Team Gotion, so to speak. So, enough disclaimers. I'm going to jump into the timeline. Excuse me. I hope that I can prove to you that this is one big club and we ain't in it. Get that notes out of the way. I wanted to make sure I got the disclaimer right. So, this is the timeline that I created of Project Elephant, and the key players are the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, the Mecosta County Development Corporation, The Right Place, Gotion Inc., of course, and Ferris State University. And I go back all the way to April 5th of 2019, but before I get started with Dr. Bill Pink, I've got these key players from the Big Rapids Township meeting minutes. These are all the people that begged the township boards to make the industrial park renaissance zone, excuse me. So that's where I got the key player information. As you can see here, Green Charter Township, of course, Mecosta County Board, Big Rapids Charter Township, Randy Thelen and Chuck Thelen, and then President Bill Pink is right there in the top. And I do not see the last person. I do have one other person that I go over, but there she is right here, Kelly. So that's how I got the key player information. They, again, begged for the Renaissance Zone approval for the battery factory. So this is April 5th of 2019. Dr. Bill Pink appointed to the MEDC Executive Committee by Governor Whitmer herself. Grand Rapids Community College President Bill Pink was appointed Friday to the Michigan Economic Development Corporation Executive Committee by Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The MEDC helps businesses grow in Michigan through partnerships and growth opportunities that aid Michigan's economy. The committee is responsible for those public-private partnerships that create jobs in the state. That, I want you to keep this in mind, this public-private partnerships. You're going to see it all over the place. Whitmer has focused on education and bringing the gap. Okay, let's see. It's an honor to represent West Michigan and public entities on the MEDC Executive Committee, Pink said in a press release issued Friday. Governor Whitmer recognizes the vital role community colleges play in developing talent. Through credits for degrees or to transfer to four-year institutions and career programs providing in-demand skill, MEDC projects affect people across our state, and I'm proud to share expertise about how the successful programs and partnerships we've built can be leveraged to help all of Michigan. Pink will serve a 4-year term on the committee. I need another cup of coffee, obviously, which expires on April 5th of 2023, which I thought was very interesting, according to this press release. So yeah, in 1 week, he is no longer going to be on the committee. We'll see. Reached out to Pink, but he was not immediately available. Okay. The committee is made up of 20 individuals. 11 of them were named on Friday. Pink will be joining the following committee members. So I don't think at this time any of them, yeah, none of that matters. This was 2019. So now we're going to look at Dr. Bill Pink on the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, see what's going on. Dr. Bill Pink became the 19th president of Ferris State University in July of 2022 and is the first African-American appointed to the position since the university's founding in 1884. An active educator and leader nationally and locally for more than 30 years, he strongly believes in the power of education in providing opportunity and furthering the university's commitment to ensuring the success of all students. Prior to Ferris State University, Dr. Pink served as president of Grand Rapids Community College and was vice president for academic affairs at Oklahoma State University, Oklahoma City campus. Dr. Bill Pink is involved in governance and policy development at regional and national levels. He was appointed by Governor Gretchen Whitmer to the Michigan Economic Development Corporation Executive Committee, and he is a member of the Higher Learning Commission Board of Trustees. He also serves on the American Council on Education Board of Directors, working with leaders from across the nation to shape public policy and to help more students gain a quality education. In West Michigan, he serves on the boards of Spectrum Health West Michigan, is board chair for the Heart of West Michigan United Way, and board vice chair for The Right Place. In 2019, Dr. Bill Pink was Newsmaker of the Year in Education by the Grand Rapids Business Journal, and he is a sought-after speaker for events across the country with presentations focused on diversity, leadership, career, and workforce development and faith. He holds a Doctor of Philosophy. He's a very educated man. I will have all the links, so if I skip something that you're interested in reading, I will put all these links in the description. So what exactly is the Michigan Economic Development Corporation? Is MEDC a state agency? Is it a private corporation? MEDC itself is not a state agency, nor is it a private corporation. MEDC is a unique, autonomous, yet quasi-governmental agency within the Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity. MEDC, in collaboration with more than 100 economic development partners, is the state's marketing arm and lead advocate for business development, job awareness, and community development with the focus on growing Michigan's economy. The MEDC is overseen by the Executive Committee, which is appointed by the governor. On the state government side, the Michigan Strategic Fund Board, which is comprised of the CEO of MEDC and other members appointed by the governor, was created to the 1984 PA 270 and has the authority to support the activities of the MEDC by approving grants, loans, and other economic assistance activities with state programming, funding. So the MEDC controls the money. And yet we didn't vote for the MEDC. If I join MEDC, okay, I don't have to read any of that. That was the key point right here. Right here, well, I will read this. What are the differences between state and corporate positions? As one organization, we work together to achieve the same mission and vision of supporting Michigan's economy, community, and image. However, there are some differences in the type of employee you may be when you come on board. MEDC corporate positions and organizational decisions are supported by and subject to the employment rules and policies approved by the MEDC Executive Committee. So the committee that we didn't vote for makes the rules and policies for the organization, okay? All benefits and compensation plans are reviewed and approved through MEDC leadership in this committee. The Michigan Strategic Fund state positions are subject to the rules and regulations of the Civil Service Commission. This includes benefits, pay schedules, okay. So I keep thinking to myself, like, that's very weird. It's a quasi-governmental agency. I've never heard of such a thing, and this has a lot of power. This might seem like a jump, so I'm gonna wait for a minute. Chuck Thelen is the next. I better go back right here. So we went over Dr. Bill Pink, April 5th. Next up, we have Chuck Thelen, who was made VP of Gotion under President Chen Li in January of 2020. So that's what we're going to next. All right, so Chuck Thelen, VP of Gotion Global, from January of 2020 to now. Before that, he worked at Robert Bosch as the engineering director from 2018 to 2020, and then he worked from 1999 to 2020 as director of project management. So I'm going to bring up Bosch for a reason you're going to see in a minute, but this is Chuck Thelen, who is Gotion's representative. So works for Gotion, the VP of Gotion. Now, this is the president of Gotion Global, Gotion High Tech, Li Chen. I see it both ways. Chen Li, Li Chen. I apologize for my ignorance. I don't know which order it goes in. I'm assuming this is the correct order, but I'm a fool sometimes, okay? I apologize. Chen Li has taken roles in Gotion High Tech since 2014, including Director of Silicon Valley R&D Center, CEO of Gotion US, Director of Global R&D Centers, VP of Engineering R&D Institute, and now SVP and President of Gotion Global. He is a member of the CPPCC of Bajo District and Hefei. Before Gotion, he worked with think tanks Bridging Nations Foundation and World Watch Institute in Washington, D.C. He holds a BS from Purdue University and MPA from Columbia University. And as you can see, this is World Economic Forum site because he is a young global leader of the World Economic Forum. So we need to understand what the World Economic Forum is and what they're doing. So what better way than to look at this for ourselves together?
There's a lot of really interesting big questions that I think we have to face in the world. Helping answer some of those big questions, providing a platform for others to answer those big questions. This is now an open space for a lot of our constituents to truly drive forward their own actions.
I'm passionate about serving a group of alternative thinkers who have not only dreamt up great ideas about how the world can be more fair, more inclusive, more just, more sustainable, but are actually proving it's possible.
Damen und Herren, herzlich willkommen hier in Davos.
If you go back 50 years to the time when the forum was conceived, the whole idea was to make the multi-stakeholder concept come alive.
The world has become so interdependent that entrepreneurs everywhere in the world depend each on another.
If you look at the history of the forum, it's really been defining systems thinking.
For example, the Gavi Vaccine Alliance. It took bringing all these great minds with resources together to say, what can we do about this?
Today we're announcing that we'll spend over $10 billion over this next decade on vaccines.
Trust really gives us our credibility. It's really the essential piece to ensuring that we can continue to do the work that we do.
The forum managed to convince Mandela and de Klerk to try to reintegrate South Africa post-apartheid.
It has been my great privilege to fight a struggle for freedom that the world adopted.
And the ability of the forum to have good convening power, to bring all relevant actors to the table, and to be able to do it in a way that can impact entire countries or entire domestic systems.
I'm pausing it for two reasons. One, because what she just said, like, you need to understand, they want to be able to affect entire countries, and they just say it. For two, because if I play the whole thing without speaking at all, I might get a copyright strike. I don't know how the rules go on YouTube with fair use. They abuse that stuff, so.
Lassen Sie uns in diesem Geiste gemeinsam für eine gerechte und dauerhafte Friedensordnung für ganz Europa arbeiten.
Hi, guys.
Our job is to get people around the table to construct and create conversations that aren't being had.
Why wouldn't we have a conversation about how we can reorient trade rules? Because that would have quite a powerful impact on the level of emissions and use of planetary resources.
We must learn to look at the planet, not as just a spacecraft on which we are passengers. We must see the planet as what it really is, a living being.
What climate change has done, it's monumental around the world. People moving from where their families have lived for centuries because they can no longer afford to feed themselves.
Putting people in faraway places and pretending that they don't exist, that is not ethical, it's not sustainable, and it's not conducive for human growth.
You know, and seeing all those pictures, obviously it's sad. We need to figure out how to fix those issues. But who appointed, or who, rather not appointed, who voted for these people? Like, who are they? That's what we need to ask ourselves. Who are you to be shaping the world in the image that you see fit? Like, how do you know what the solutions are? The other thing, what was it? Oh, they want to talk about these poor communities around the world that are being affected by climate change, but really what they're being affected by is big industry behind a green mask that are taking away their water sources to mine lithium in Argentina and Brazil. Cobalt mining. Again, I know I keep reiterating this, but these people say that they care about the planet, and yet they're pushing this. So why?
There's a much more concentrated effort to make sure that we're bringing in the voices of the next generation of business leaders, societal leaders, government leaders. We need to not underestimate the power that this youth has.
Private sector and businesses, industry overall, has a huge role to play.
It's not just the business itself, it's also related to the society, how we can create a better world in the future.
We are working together with companies to think about AI and ethics, but also to recognize what human-centered design really means.
We have the Center for Fourth Industrial Revolution to discuss technology governance. We always put humanity and human in center.
And that's where the forum is at its best. It's as a way to shine a spotlight of where the world community could be headed.
We have the incredible potential of the information technologies, of the ways of communicating. We're only at the beginning of recognizing how far that is going to change our lives.
Each one of the Fourth Industrial Revolution technologies has that potential to create a society that's more positive, that's more sustainable, that's more inclusive.
So there you go. Sustainable, inclusive, Fourth Industrial Revolution, Industry 4.0. It's all connected.
Accelerate the formulation of a solution for a rare disease or climate.
I think you get the gist of that. I'm going to jump over to this and read a little bit. The World Economic Forum, well, I'm sorry, I might be, yes, okay. The World Economic Forum in 2020, because if you go back to this timeline, January is when Chuck Thelen of 2020 went and started working for Gotion after working for Bosch. So his president is part of the World Economic Forum. There is an urgent need for global stakeholders to cooperate in simultaneously managing the direct consequences of the COVID-19 crisis to improve the state of the world. The World Economic Forum is starting the Great Reset Initiative. Now, this started in June of 2020, right here. Now is the time for the Great Reset. This is from Klaus Schwab himself, the founder, executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. COVID-19 lockdowns may be gradually easing, but anxiety about the world's social and economic prospects is only intensifying. To achieve a better outcome, the world must act jointly and swiftly to revamp all aspects of our societies, economies, from education to social contracts and working conditions. Every country, from the United States to China, must participate, and every industry, from oil and gas to tech, must be transformed. In short, we need a great reset of capitalism. Now, this is all out in the open. These are all just facts. And this is who Chuck Thelen is working for. Okay? If you go back, I know I seem to be jumping around a lot. I have a lot of information, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to present it. If you come down here, you can see Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. This is, if you click on this link, this is going to lead you to UN Agenda 2030 or Agenda 21, because that's what the SDGs are. So sustainable development is connected with the World Economic Forum, is connected with Gotion. That brings us, I'm sorry, to the partners. I wanted to show you really quick under Robert Bosch. Oh, it's under R. I'm sorry. You come here, Robert Bosch. So, a partner of the World Economic Forum. I don't think we can see how long they've been a partner. The Bosch Group is leading global supplier of technology and services. This is who Chuck Thelen worked for before. So, this is speculation. This is where the speculation comes in. Did he get moved over to Gotion VP to be a player because he's from Michigan to make it seem a little better, to ease us into this Project Gotion? Again, that's just speculation. I can't prove that. Something to think about. Some of these other partners of the World Economic Forum are really interesting, and I'm not going to get off track too much, but there's two that I'm not going to say out loud, but, well, Merck, I'll say that one out loud. Microsoft, I'll say that one out loud. As you saw, Bill Gates was in that video. Right there. So this company is a partner of the World Economic Forum, and so is this company. Something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. Aaron Haley is the director of project management at Gotion, also worked at Bosch from 2000 to 2022. So now working as director of project management at Gotion since February of 2022. So he got pulled over from Chuck Thelen's recommendation, I'm sure. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, Corey. I appreciate you coming and watching. Yes, yes. If you go through the World Economic Forum partner list, I mean, it's amazing. It is amazing. Okay. We're going to jump now to March 2021 is when he got put in as the president and CEO of The Right Place, Randy Thelen. However, I found an article from 2020 where he gets announced. Where did it? There it goes. So, new leader announced for The Right Place Economic Development Group, December 18th of 2020. The year the Great Reset began. I just want to say that. That's the year the Great Reset started, according to Klaus Schwab. So, the Right Place Economic Development Organization has announced its new president, who has been working on development efforts in Denver, Colorado. If you look, which I think I do have, I don't have him, his entire career is in development corporations. So that is what he has done for his entire career. Randy Thelen will replace Klaus, who is retiring after serving 33 years as president and chief executive officer of the organization that is dedicated to attracting, retaining, and growing business in West Michigan. Thelen, who is a Michigan native, will start his new position on March 1st, 2021, according to the news release from The Right Place. He has 25 years of experience in economic development and currently is Senior Vice President of Economic Development for the Downtown Denver Partnership, where he's credited with supporting $1 billion in downtown investments. Yes. He's a big dog in the development world, and he got, again, speculation, but he got placed by World Economic Forum to come here because he's a local. And so, again, ease us into Project Elephant when they privately make all the plans, and then right at the end, right before they finalize, they let us know about it. In addition to his efforts to retain and recruit investment in Denver, Thelen advocated for housing, retail, and public policy initiatives, according to the news release. Randy will help us write the next chapter for The Right Place and West Michigan. Right Place Board of Directors Chair Sean Welsh said in a prepared statement. Continuing to tell our story to business leaders and job providers around the world is so important in a very competitive market. The right place. What is the right place? That's a great question. About us. Advancing the Greater Grand Rapids regional economy. Serving West Michigan since 1985, The Right Place is a regional economic development organization funded through investments from the private and public sectors. That sound familiar? The Right Place drives regional economic development initiatives to stimulate economic growth, wealth creation, and operational excellence by focusing on productivity, innovation, and the retention, expansion, and creation of quality employment and companies in the Greater Grand Rapids region. So this, again, this private-public relationship that's going on, it's plans are made in private by people that we didn't vote for, and they spend public money. That's what's going on. He led the economic development group. If you're talking about Randy Thelen right here. Yes, Randy Thelen is, this is a huge web that has been weaved, and it's been complicated. I've been wanting to put this video out for a while because, yes, there's a lot. Mission, really quick, to drive the mission of The Right Place, to drive sustainable economic growth and shared prosperity for all in the Greater Grand Rapids region. So sustainable economic growth. And then the vision, the Greater Grand Rapids region will be the most resilient, productive, and equitable regional economy in the nation. Now, equality and equitability are two different things. Equitable is like equality of outcome, whereas equality, real equality, is equality of opportunity. So equitable is not a good word. Equality of outcome is a disaster. That means everybody's wearing gray, okay? It's like The Giver, if you ever read The Giver, that middle grade dystopian novel where literally there's no color, everything is black and white because that is the society they built for themselves. Anyway, staffed by the skilled team of economic development and business professionals, The Right Place concentrates on three key strategic pillars: people, place, and prosperity. This philosophy focuses on people as the drivers of a successful economy, recognizing them to be a differentiating factor from one region from another. Yeah, but the people don't get a say in anything that goes on. So, you really care about the people? Randy Thelen, President and CEO of The Right Place. Randy leads economic development strategy through collaboration with local, state, and national organizations and stakeholders. Yes, it is fascism. His role is central to the organization's core work of business retention, expansion, and attraction within the community, while aligning with The Right Place's mission of driving sustainable economic growth and shared prosperity for all in the Greater Grand Rapids region. Randy joined The Right Place team in 2021 after serving as Senior Vice President. Prior to his role, he led the Greater Omaha Economic Development Partnership, a 2-state, 8-county regional economic development effort. Randy executed a $24 million Prosper Omaha strategy, which brought $3.9 billion in new capital investment and 13,000 new jobs to the area, allegedly. They can say they brought 13,000, but they can just announce. At least that's how it is in Michigan. Maybe it's different there. I can announce 13,000 jobs, and that counts. I can say, I brought 13,000 new jobs. They don't actually have to come to fruition. That's another whole nother thing. Randy's career began at economic development organizations in Everett and Monroe, Michigan, before he moved to the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. From there, he was hired as the first president of Lakeshore Advantage, where he led attraction of $1.2 billion in investments and 8,000 jobs during a 10-year tenure. Yes, Randy holds a Master of Arts in Applied Economics from Binghamton. I've never heard of that university. It's probably some elite university. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. And a Bachelor of Arts in economics from Alma College. So, the right place, MEDC, I'm showing you the web. It's in several different places. It's not just one connection. There's several connections between these people. Let's see. I'm going to go back to this article really quick just so I can quote him. "I'm thrilled to be chosen to lead the right place," Thelen said in a prepared statement. "West Michigan is home. To lead the economic development efforts of a region I love is the opportunity of a lifetime." Yeah, I keep saying region, man. Of the state that I love. No, states are out. What's in is regions. "I look forward to working with a broad base of stakeholders committed to continue the economic progress and prosperity of the region." All right. So, partners of the right place. I wanted to show this. Hello, West Michigan. Michigan Manufacturing Technology Center West. Michigan Economic Development Corporation. Michigan Defense Center. The Regional Air Alliance. Regional Economic Development Alliances, which Kent, Ionia, Lake, Newaygo, Montcalm, and Oceana. All partners. Ionia County Economic Alliance, okay, the Mecosta County Development Corporation, Montcalm, and Oceana. So, lots of partners. Lots of partners. Here is one investment he brought. Yes, you are ahead of me, man. I'm on it. You just wait. You hold your horses. Oh, that's New Beginnings. I'm sorry. You hold your horses, New Beginnings. Mecosta County Development Corporation. You guys are on it, though. I appreciate you for being diligent and knowing what's going on, man. It's a lot. Mecosta County Development Corporation's 2022 Board of Directors. Right here we have Bill Stenick of Big Rapids Township as the treasurer, which the Big Rapids Township Board didn't know. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but the rest of the board of Big Rapids Township didn't know that this conflict of interest was taking place and that he possibly signed an NDA. Another board member down here, we have Paul Bullock from Mecosta County, and we have Jim Chapman from Green Township. Now, there are others on here, and I recommend, Dr. Bill Pink, Ferris State University. There we go. I recommend, again, you check out all the links I leave in the description for yourself. See, if you want to, what's going on. I'm going to close these out. All right, so before I get into his little interview that he did with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, I am going to go over what New Beginnings. Yes, you're doing a great job, New Beginnings. You don't have to apologize. You're awesome. Advanced Battery Advocate remains optimistic after scathing federal report on LG Chem plant. This was February 14th, 2013. Randy Thelen tried to look on the bright side Thursday, February 14th, one day after a scathing government report generated a public outcry over the LG Chem advanced battery plant he had worked to bring to the Holland area. The plant is still here, and there are 200 employees still here, said Thelen, president of Lakeshore Advantage, an economic development program aimed at bringing jobs to Holland, Zeeland, and Sagatuck area. They have made a commitment of $150 million, and they have 200 people on staff. That, more than anything I can say, speaks to their commitment, Thelen said. They're all in from an investment standpoint and holding on to their people. On Wednesday, a report by Department of Energy's Office of Inspector General concluded LG Chem has misused $842,000 of the $150 million in federal grants used to build its lithium-ion battery manufacturing plant in Holland. Imagine that, almost $1 million wasted. But let's just keep giving millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in briberies to these companies of taxpayer money, because government does not generate money. It steals it from the people, okay? Instead of making batteries, LG used the grant money to pay employees to volunteer at local nonprofits, play games, and watch movies. Oh, Corey, there was a great documentary on Netflix about Chinese efforts in manufacturing in Ohio. Hey, email it to me if you feel so inclined. I love watching documentaries. Nonfiction. There's a lot going. The truth is stranger than fiction, and that is a fact. LG Chem acknowledged the charges and said it has reimbursed the government. We regretted the situation occurred, and we are confident that we are now taking every measure to be fully compliant in our use of project grant funding. Built at a cost of $303 million, the 600,000 square foot plant east of Holland was supposed to begin production of batteries for the Chevrolet Volts and the Ford Focus EV by mid-2012. Instead, LG Chem has supplied batteries for the cars from its Korean factories. LG Chem blamed a lower than expected demand for advanced batteries for its failure to start production at the Holland factory. These market-driven delays have been very difficult for our team members, for our community, and for our company, LG Chem said. Nevertheless, we remain fully committed to launching production at LG Chem Michigan's facility in Holland, Michigan, and will use our best efforts to create additional new jobs and contribute to a more independent, sustainable energy future. I'll say it out. MichiganMuckraker@gmail.com. Email me. Nope. And I have it also on my Facebook page. My email is public. Felon described the critical report as a hiccup in Holland's efforts to become a national center of advanced battery technology. So he has been involved. He was in Michigan and then left, went to Denver for a while, and came back. We're going to listen. Let's see. I think that there's also a transcript, which I'm just going to pull over here. Let's listen to a minute.
Hello, I'm your host today, Ed Clementi, and we're glad to have an old friend of mine, Randy Thalen. He's the president and CEO of The Right Place. Welcome to the show, Randy.
Thank you, Ed. Great to be here, although old friend, I don't know.
Well, I'm a lot older than you. Let's say that. We've known each other a while.
We have. Great to see you again.
Yes, and, you know, The Right Place, congratulations, you're our first guest. We've had twice from now. We had Birgit prior before you, and she was such a great person to work with when I was in the legislature too. And I know you got big shoes there to fill, but I hear you're doing a great job. What do you tell people The Right Place is when you first meet them and they never heard of it before?
Yeah, well, thanks, Ed, and great to be here. And it's nice to have The Right Place represented twice on your show. And certainly, you're right, Birgit has tremendously big shoes to fill. But I think of it a little bit differently. I think of it as taking the baton and continuing the race. And we're thankfully, because of her work, in a great, strong position in the front of the pack. But we got to keep running. We got to keep racing as a region. And for us at The Right Place, we are the leading economic development organization serving West Michigan, and it's centered right here in Grand Rapids. And there's a lot of great attributes about the region. We've got a very strong public-private partnership kind of mindset here. We've got a very diversified economy. Our work is to continue pushing forward, making sure we diversify even further. So
He knows all the keywords. I'll say that.
That much more resilient. That resiliency of the economy across the country and around the world has really been put to the test during the course of the pandemic. And it's been exciting to see in a lot of ways how the economy here has recovered so quickly. And we think there's frankly more room to grow going forward.
Yeah, and you're a real journeyman, and I mean that as a compliment. The way I'm going to just tell people, like, one of your early mentors, who was a friend of mine and my family's, was Bill Morris. And why don't why don't you touch a little bit about how you got started with economic development? I think you had a job before him even, I think.
I did. I studied economics when I attended Alma College, have an econ degree. And so I always tell people I'm an economist at heart. I ventured out to New York for a master's degree. I was in a PhD program, but decided to call it short at a master's degree and ventured back into economic development. I had an internship when I was at Alma and then built it into a career where I sit here in Grand Rapids today. But you're right, Bill Morris, wonderful man, just incredible heart and passion for this state and for Monroe County, or as he called it, Monroe County.
Do you guys know anything about Bill Morris, by the way? Because I've never heard of him Shame on me.
Worked there in the late 90s when it was really sort of the heyday of the SUV movement in the auto industry. And working down in Monroe between Toledo and Detroit at that time was an exciting time to really cut my teeth in economic development. The phone rang constantly. Companies were putting auto supplier kind of facilities there left and right. And worked there for a good stretch, but made my way to the MEDC, where you're at now today, Ed. I worked for the Michigan Economic Development Corporation for about 4 years in a variety of roles. And ultimately, in this career, sometimes you have to move to advance. And I made my way to Holland, Michigan, where I was hired as the first president of Lakeshore Advantage, which is the economic development organization serving Holland and Zeeland. And really just had a great 10-year stretch there, working with some amazing people, building up a strong organization. After a while, I'll admit, my wife and I got a little bit of adventurous streak maybe, and we decided to go out west. We ended up working in Omaha, Nebraska, where I led a regional economic development effort, frankly, very similar to the Right Place. Worked there for 5 years, leading
because these economic development, this is going on everywhere. It's not just Michigan. It's just Michigan has been targeted for the EV market, which is so terrible. I just hate that. There's so much beautiful water and trees here, and
strong organization, national award-winning organization. While I was there, we decided to go further west and made our way to Denver, where I worked in the core of the city for the Downtown Denver Partnership. And really, it's no secret Denver is one of the most robust economies in the country, and to work in that environment and to see what a true high growth market is like, that was really a great, tremendous experience and a fun stretch. But then we decided when this opportunity opened up, this is home for us, Ed. Michigan is home. I'm born and raised here. My wife born and raised here. And getting back home, especially in the sort of afterglow or the aftermath of the pandemic, it was important for us to bring what we've learned out of state and bring it back here in West Michigan. And that's what we've been doing for the last year, and look to do it for years to come.
Where did you and your wife go to high school?
So yeah, since 2020, the Great Reset.
Curious note.
Well, we met.
Well, what do you guys think? I'm gonna leave this down, and I'm not gonna go through the whole 22 minutes with y'all, but I wanted just to give you a little preview. I thought that there was something else, and if I can find it, I will get back to that, okay? Yeah. He has been in economics forever, obviously, so he is a key player. And another thing, Chuck Thelen and Randy Thelen are distant cousins, but I guess they had no idea. And that's per Randy Thelen. I don't have the video, but it's out there. He said, we're distant cousins, but I didn't know that. So take that as you will. So June to October, somewhere in there, the MEDC, 13 Michigan lawmakers signed an NDA with the MEDC about 4 development projects. One is Project Elephant. So Whitmer, covered by non-disclosure agreement. This was December of 2021. So it was a few months after that. But I lost it, but I have been able to go back all the way to June. So I think that, and this is speculation because of the NDAs, but I think that in March, when he came on board, that's when the projects really started in earnest. I think Randy Thelen is in charge with Chuck Thelen. And of course, Dr. Bill Pink is in there again, and he's going to come back. There's a couple times, obviously. He has to move to Fair State University here in a minute. So here we have Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey, House Speaker Jason Wentworth were among those who inked the agreements with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. Senator Ken Horn, Frankenmuth, previously disclosed he had signed a non-disclosure agreement with the Economic Development Agency. Whitmer told reporters Wednesday that she was covered by an agreement signed on behalf of the administration as one of the few people who had to be aware of some of the details related to the possible business interests in the incentive package. There's a lot of proprietary information that is shared as states are vying for the opportunity to draw this kind of potential massive investment in future critical economic manufacturing opportunities into our states. That information is not going to be shared with anyone who doesn't do that. Whitmer said. Yeah, this you don't need to know attitude. I don't like it. She added that the new business incentive program will have more transparency further down the line. It hasn't. This was in 2021. Now it's 2023. There's been more articles on Michigan Capital Confidential and MackinacCenter.org, I believe. They're two more libertarian, so they're actually trying to hold Whitmer accountable, big government accountable. The business incentive package signed into law this week featured $1 billion for economic development incentives and $409 million in assistance for businesses affected by COVID-19. State leaders have said the package was prompted by Ford Motor Company's September announcement of an $11 billion investment, along with 11 jobs in Kentucky and Tennessee. The Site Readiness Fund would be charged with spending money on activities related to strategic sites and mega strategic sites. The other fund, the Critical Industry Fund, would be focused on providing investments to qualified businesses for deal closing, gap financing, or other economic assistance to create new qualified jobs or make capital investments. This is Quentin Messer, of the CEO of the MEDC. So, as you can see, we have another article too that names 13 lawmakers, including Republican and Democratic leadership, because this is a bipartisan thing, you know, so both sides have lots of people who want more power. Redacted versions of the non-disclosure agreements released by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation Tuesday reveal lawmakers are barred from discussing any details involving several potential development projects that could benefit from the incentives they passed. Yes, she was at the World Economic Forum, and I have an article to share about that. I'm trying to go in a timeline a little bit. I know I have been jumping around though, and I apologize. Again, it's a very intricate web, and it's hard to figure out exactly where to go on it sometimes. The signatures of the following Michigan lawmakers appeared on the agreements signed with the MEDC. Reps Jason Wentworth of Clare, a Republican, Matt Hall, Republican of Marshall, Joseph Tate of Detroit, a Democrat, Jim Hadsma, a Democrat of Battle Creek, Ben Fedrick, of a Republican of Owasso, Thomas Albert, a Republican of Lowell, Donna Lazinski, a Democrat of Skio Township, and Senator Mike Shirkey, Republican of Clark Lake, Jim Anaki of Flint, Detroit, John Bison, Republican of Battle Creek, Jim Stamas, Republican of Midland. I regret starting this paragraph. And Kurt Hertel, Democrat, East Lansing, Ken Horn of Frankenmuth, a Republican. So both, lots of both, Republicans and Democrats signing NDAs with the MEDC in order to bring businesses that they choose with our tax dollars to Michigan. That was the governor's team required to get in the room for negotiations. If that's what it takes to get a deal done and keep jobs in Michigan, the speaker was willing to do it. Said House Speaker Wentworth, a spokesperson for that person. So, yeah, Governor Whitmer welcomes. This is before she goes to Davos. This is before she gets reelected. Of 2022, Governor Whitmer welcomes World Economic Forum's U.S. Center for Advanced Manufacturing to Michigan, bringing economic growth and new jobs. Wednesday, June 1st, 2022. So, I skipped. No, I didn't. Dr. Bill Pink is coming up, I swear. Close that one. Today, Governor Gretchen Whitmer joined state, local, and industry officials during the Mackinac Policy Conference to celebrate the selection of Michigan as the home for the World Economic Forum's new U.S. Center for Advanced Manufacturing. The World Economic Forum is partnering with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, Oakland County, and nonprofit Industry 4.0 Knowledge Center Automation Alley on the U.S. Center, which will be housed within Automation Alley in Troy. We are thrilled to welcome the World Economic Forum's United States Center for Advanced Manufacturing to Michigan. where our century-long auto manufacturing heritage, innovative businesses, and hardworking people continue to drive the future of mobility electrification in the U.S. and around the world, said Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Since I took office, Michigan has added nearly 30,000 manufacturing jobs, many building batteries, electric vehicle, or other advanced mobility products. These investments have cemented our status as the global epicenter of mobility and manufacturing, and with the forum's new center, we will build on that leadership, bringing in even more opportunity for workers and bolstering economic opportunity in every region of our state. Today's investment will ensure that the words made in Michigan carry on for generations. So I'm not going to read this whole thing. I actually went over a lot of it in yesterday's video, so check that one out. I forgot the name of it right now, so I will have that linked down below as well. But this is just to show that Governor Whitmer started working with the World Economic Forum in public, for sure, in June of 2022 before she got reelected. And she had 8 times more money for advertising for the election than her competitor, Tudor Dixon. 8 times more. So when you have powerful friends, maybe. That's speculation. Whitmer swings through Europe. She did. She went to Europe. I'm skipping all around, but I'm just going to go with it. Governor Gretchen Whitmer is in Europe this week. This was in January 2023. Governor Gretchen Whitmer is in Europe, serving as Michigan's promoter-in-chief as she touts the state as a prime place to do business. So right after she got elected, she was going around talking to the people of Davos, the World Economic Forum. Whitmer said she sought to sign a memorandum of understanding with the country, but a spokesperson later clarified the delegation, which included leaders from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, wasn't able to get to the matter with Norwegian officials. She presented the officials with Stormy Cromer hats, which are made in the Upper Peninsula's ironwood. Tuesday, Whitmer joined an international panel in Davos titled The Return of Manufacturing, and as a response to each of the moderators' questions, did just sang the state's praises, touting Michigan as the #1 state for clean energy jobs in the country. She also touched on a long-time workforce development goal in Michigan, the promotion of skilled trades. Whitmer made her administration's ability to lure development to Michigan via billions in economic incentives as a major pillar of her re-election campaign. The trip this week was a related effort, with a stated focus on attracting job-creating business investments. All of the publicly reported meetings Whitmer held were with companies that have already invested in Michigan. Yeah, Mackinac Center, libertarian-leaning nonprofit that has long been vocally opposed to economic incentives, blasted the trip. Governor's strategy is to give a handful of companies massive checks from the government. Fiscal Policy Director James Hawman said in a statement, that's true. This is a marketing ploy, not an economic advantage. State subsidies are ineffective at creating jobs, unfair to the businesses that don't get them, and come at a high cost to taxpayers. So yes, old Whitmer is connected with the World Economic Forum. All right, so we're jumping around just a little bit. This is March 2022. Dr. Bill Pink. It's the same year, at least. I'm in the same year. Bill Pink, president of Grand Rapids Community College, was officially named as the selected finalist to become the 19th president of Ferris State. There's no actual date when this came out. University of Board Trustees on Monday, March 28th. Okay, so Monday, March 28th of 2022, I suppose. This announcement follows a comprehensive national search led by the advisory committee that included faculty, staff, student, and community inclusion. Dr. Pink, with 3+ decades of professional experience as an educator, leader, and active community member, has served as GRCC's president since May of 2017. Before becoming president, Pink served GRCC as a vice president and dean. During this period, Pink built robust West Michigan connections that include various service commitments to a wide range of boards, organizations, inside and outside higher education in Grand Rapids, West Michigan, statewide and nationally. So he is part of the education portion, obviously, of the MEDC. And education is very, very important. Board of Trustees officially votes on the next president at its regular meeting scheduled for Friday. Okay, I am honored to be selected by the Ferris State University Board. I have been familiar with the good work of FSU for years, as the partnership we have on our GRCC campus has provided a great pathway from associate to bachelor degrees for many years, Pink said. So he worked with the prior president of FSU. I will not attempt to fill the shoes of Dr. Essler, I hope that's how you say it, and the incredible work he has done for the university, the region, and our state. Instead, I'll wear my shoes in continuing to move Ferris forward. I'm excited about the opportunity. Great pharmacy school at Ferris. Yeah, I don't know much about Ferris anymore. I know hockey. I know that hockey program used to be really good, but I left for 12 years and then came back 2019 to Michigan, so I'm not sure what's going on with Ferris State. But I'll take your word for it. I'm sure that their program is good because Kalamazoo actually hosts a Pfizer factory. So we have Pfizer here in Kalamazoo as well, so yeah, I'm not going to get into that. I am honored, let's see. Dr. Pink is well known in Grand Rapids area, but he is no stranger to the Ferris State University community. GRCC has partnered with Ferris on many classes. Students can get an associate degree with GRCC and a bachelor's degree with Ferris in certain workforce-related programs without ever leaving the GRCC campus, said Seibold, who added that Pink was a unanimous choice of the trustees. Most importantly, Bill embraces the principles upon which Woodbridge Ferris founded our university. Ferris has always been ahead of the curve in providing hands-on education to our students, translating into great jobs. I look forward to having Bill lead our university into the future. Bill brings great higher education experience and is a well-respected and engaged member of Grand Rapids community and West Michigan region, Sneed said. Beyond West Michigan, he has developed great contacts around the state, including the Michigan's community colleges through his work with the American Association of Community Colleges Board and beyond. He has developed great experience during his career and is ready to come in and hit the ground running at Ferris. He's on a lot of boards and committees. That is for sure. That's where the power is, man. And he obviously knows it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there was one. Let's see. There it is. Gotta find it in here. Pate currently serves on the executive committee of the Michigan Economic Development Corporation and the board of trustees of the Higher Learning Commission. He also serves on the boards of the American Council on Education, Spectrum Health West Michigan, Heart of West Michigan United Way, the Economic Club of Grand Rapids, and the American Association of Community Colleges. Holy crap. Pink is vice chair of the Right Place Economic Development and will become chair in 2024. I wonder if that's a promotion if he gets this Gotion in. That's speculation. I will call it, that's speculation. You graduated in 2014, left Kalamazoo. I would leave Kalamazoo too. I'm sorry. I do not like Kalamazoo at all. I don't like Lansing either. No offense to you, of course. Kalamazoo is, and I feel sad that that's like that. Obviously, I want all of Michigan to be a welcoming place, but I don't find Kalamazoo very welcoming. The education credentials for Pink include a Bachelor of Science in Physical Education and Professional Education from Oklahoma Christian University. In addition, he holds a Master of Education in Physical Education and Secondary Education from the University of Central Oklahoma and a Doctor of Philosophy from the University of Oklahoma in an Instructional Leadership Academic Curriculum. Following the official vote by the Board of Trustees, Pink starts as president in July of 2022, following the June 30 retirement. So he started as president in July of 2022, when the project was already well on its way, because the project started in 2021. And he was already a member of the MEDC, so I'm sure he signed an NDA, can't prove it of course, and knew about the project and was put into place But again, I can't prove that he was put into place for this project. That is speculation. I didn't know that about Kalamazoo. That's sad. So, Dr. Bill Pink, key player. This is just another article, I think, that says pretty much the same thing. So the video is already going to be long, so I'm going to move on. October 5th of 2022 is when the announcement officially came out, when I first saw, because I was watching the elections for governor of Michigan at this time. I was paying attention to what Whitmer was doing, and I saw this on October 5th of 2022. Whitmer announces new battery component manufacturing facility in Big Rapids. As part of a series of electric vehicle battery investments made today, Governor Gretchen Whitmer joined the Michigan Economic Development Corporation in announcing the Michigan Strategic Fund support for a transformational investment by the global battery company Gotion, which has chosen to build its battery component manufacturing facility in Big Rapids. I find it so funny because MEDC and the Michigan Strategic Fund are connected. And yet, if you didn't look into it, you wouldn't know. You would think, oh, there's maybe some checks and balances there. There are two different programs or groups of people making decisions, but no, that's not the case. Gotion's $2.36 billion investment, creating 2,350 good-paying jobs. Define good-paying jobs, because around $40,000 a year is not a good-paying job. In Big Rapids, Michigan is the biggest ever economic development project in northern Michigan and will shore up our status as the global hub of mobility and electrification, said Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Who asked for that? Did we say, yeah, we want to be the mobility, global hub of mobility and electrification? I am proud that Republicans and Democrats worked across the aisle to build up our economic development toolkit and empowered Michigan to compete for every project and every job. Together, we will continue winning investments in this space and become the preeminent destination for electric vehicle and mobility companies. We will work with anyone and compete with everyone to keep bringing supply chains of batteries, chips, and electric vehicles home to Michigan. This sucks. We are thrilled to congratulate the Gotion team on choosing Michigan as their American home for opportunity. Team Michigan continues to out-hustle and out-compete to ensure every global company considering their future expansion opportunities can see their future here in our state, just like Gotion does, said Quentin Messer Jr., CEO of MEDC and president and chair of the MSF board. We are grateful for the support and collaboration from our multiple local partners at the city and country levels, our partners at the Right Place and Consumers Energy in particular, and appreciate the bipartisan support of the legislator to bring these good-paying jobs and economic opportunities to our friends and neighbors, both here and in Big Rapids and throughout the region. Founded in 1998 and based in Hefei, China, Gotion High-Tech engages in the research and development, production, and sale of power lithium batteries in China and internationally. Its products include lithium ion phosphate materials and batteries, ternary materials and batteries, power battery packs, battery management systems, and energy storage battery packs for use in electric commercial vehicles, passenger vehicles, special vehicles, and hybrid vehicles. Gotion also offers high-voltage electrical appliances, switchgear equipment, electrical digital equipment, intelligent distribution network equipment, serialized transformers, circuit breakers, integrated charging piles, onboard chargers, and energy storage cabinets for use in thermal power, hydropower, nuclear power, wind power, metallurgy, railway, and other industries. Gotion was incorporated in California in 2014 and was focused on research and development activities in Fremont, California, as well as Cleveland, Ohio, which I hopefully will have a link to Cleveland, Ohio, and Gotion and what's going on there. Old Corey, I appreciate you. We are thankful to Big Rapids community, state of Michigan, and all who have supported us in getting the project to this important milestone. We are dedicated to bringing world-class lithium battery production to North America and delivering high-quality products to our customers in a timely fashion. We look forward to our continued partnership to ensure a smooth launch, said Chuck Thelen, Vice President of Gotion Global. Yep, the MSF board today approved support that will enable $2.364 billion investment in Michigan by Gotion, creating up to 2,350 new jobs. Once completed, the facility in Big Rapids is expected to produce 150,000 tons of cathode material per year, covering an area estimated 260 acres, with plans to build two 550,000 square foot production plants. Okay, real quick, I think that it's actually gotten bigger, but I have to try to find an article on that before I can share it with you. Let me see if there's anybody else down here. We're excited at the opportunity to partner with Gotion, our municipal leaders, and our economic development partners on this once-in-a-lifetime project that will have a significant impact for both Big Rapids region and for Ferris State University. Gotion has made it clear that Ferris State University will be a strong partner in this effort for many years to come, and we are well prepared to do so, said Ferris State University President Bill Pink. While we have not yet reached the finish line, the board approval this morning has moved us one step closer to a collaboration that will positively impact and enhance our region and state as a whole. I am excited about this opportunity to advance our region, the city of Big Rapids, and our great university. Oh, and one more. This project has the potential to provide great jobs to multiple generations of our citizens, said Mecosta County Controller Administrator Paul Bullock. Citizens who will not have to leave our community for this type of opportunity, but who will have to stay, grow, and enrich our community through their presence. Now, he is on my little list, but way down here, I need to go a little faster. I think I'm going too slow. My little timeline, but I did want to point that out, that Paul Bullock is not a neutral party. He's supposed to be taking the questions and rather picking the questions for the April 5th virtual meeting. But he's not neutral. I've proved it in several videos. Oh, yes, two Thelens. Yes, they are distant cousins. Chuck Thelen and Randy Thelen both started working on this project. He said that he is a distant cousin. That's what he said in a video recently, because there was confusion about that. I wasn't able to find anything, but I did see the video. I couldn't find it for this, but I will try to find it and put it in the description down below, where he says it himself, that he didn't know, though, that they're distant cousins. So yes, when I first started looking at the board meetings, and I saw that come down here, Randy Thelen, Chuck Thelen. That's weird, because one's supposed to be working for us, the right place, and the other one is a representative for Gotion, but they're obviously, Randy Thelen is not on the people's side of Michigan. They're on Team Gotion too. So, right here. This was October 9th of 2021. I'm sorry I missed it, so I am jumping around a little bit, but Mecosta County Development Corporation to hire the right place. So that's probably because the deal was going through, and so they decided to start working together. Yes, thank you for the question. I'd love to clarify, because yeah, these people are all connected. Since the retirement of the Mecosta County Development Corporation Director, Jim, Sandy, and May, the executive committee for the organization has been looking for a new director. After reaching out to different economic development organizations, the committee initially decided to keep things in-house, developing a new job description and advertising for the position. Following several weeks of interviews, however, the committee changed gears and decided to go with an outside vendor. Community Administrator Paul Bullock told the Mecosta County Board of Commissioners during its meeting this week that the committee made the decision to contract with the right place out of Grand Rapids. Since Jim Sandy's retirement, the executive committee has been looking and trying to figure out what to do and what is going to work for us, Bullock said. We advertised the position, they interviewed some people, they decided that was probably not going to work. Pretty quickly, we determined we wanted to go with someone who knew what they were doing. Mecosta Township Supervisor Michelle Graham, who headed the search for a new director, told the Pioneer that the decision to go with an outside vendor rather than hiring an in-house director resulted from being unable to find the right person to fill the position. The MCDC interviewed several individuals and could not find the right fit. After some time, we decided to contact the right place, and we believe they are a good fit for the MCDC. Graham said the right place will provide services such as marketing and branding, business attraction, retention expansion, site location support and workforce development, community education outreach, community development support, regional leadership and support, and competitiveness initiatives statewide. One person cannot provide all of these services that the right place offers. So, they're supposed to be, they're working also with several counties, including Newaygo, Mason, Oceana, Montcalm, Lake counties. The right place is taken over, okay? If you haven't figured that out yet. It's just crazy to me. I know this, I've read it all, but just still seeing it over and over how they pulled one over. We got ambushed, y'all. We got ambushed. But I still believe we can rally up, put some sandbags up, and, you know, I'm not going to say the rest, but how Fair State's partnership with Chinese manufacturer will help bring thousands of jobs to the region. October 10th of 2022. An electric vehicle battery manufacturer, Gotion, prepares to establish roots in Big Rapids. Fair State University is playing a key role with workers needed for over 2,000 jobs expected to be created in West Michigan. Corey said, thank you, Cosmic Monkey, real quick. Thank you for being here. Corey said, on March 15th, Gotion High Tech and Edison Power entered into a strategic cooperation agreement to jointly develop large storage batteries and recycling market in Japan. I did read something about that, and I might cover it in another video because it seems like right now Gotion is my thing because it's going to be on my river, and I don't like that. Fair State was a major reason why the Chinese company was interested in building its new battery manufacturing plant in Big Rapids, Fair State President Bill Pink said. That's why I picked this article, that right there specifically. He said it. Fair State was a major reason why the Chinese company was interested in building its new battery manufacturing plant. Yeah, because Dr. Bill Pink's part of the MEDC. Yeah. The university's engineering programs offer a locally trained talent pool that will secure the region as a major battery manufacturer in a rapidly changing automotive industry. Gotion has made it clear that Fair State University, will be a strong partner in this effort for many years to come, and we are well prepared to do so. Pink said in an FSU news release, "I'm excited about this opportunity to advance our state, region, the city of Big Rapids, and our great university." Last week, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation approved $715 million in public incentives for Gotion as part of a deal to build a battery plant in Big Rapids, a move expected to create 2,350 jobs and generate $2.4 billion in investment. Officials said the average hourly wage of the new job is expected to be $29. Yeah, well, we all know what that means. That average is not for the average worker. That's with the higher ups. You know, they averaged it out. You know, the people that make, let's say, 100,000, which is only one or two jobs, let's say, and then the normal people, which will make 40,000, 45,000 a year, which is not a good paying job. The terms of the public incentives stipulate that Gotion would fulfill its job and investment requirements by December 31st of 2031. The company is planning to build a plant at a site near US 131 in Big Rapids Airport. Yeah, again, December 31st of 2031, when ChatGPT and AI just came out, and already after just a couple months, it is insanely superior to what it was when it released. By 2031, the world will be a completely different place. And because technology is just exponentially sped it up. Like, change it's crazy. 2031, 2,000 jobs. I don't think so, guys. University of State leaders gathered October 5th at Fair State's Kendall College. At the event, Pink called the project a once-in-a-century collaboration for Big Rapids, Mecosta County, and West Michigan. Fair State University has advanced knowledge and program maturity in key applied knowledge areas like welding, engineering of exotic materials, plastics engineering, and injection mold design. Metrology labs? I'm sorry, I've never heard of that. And quality engineering. I'll have to look into that. The state has already invested significantly in developing these program areas and laboratories at Fair State, leveraging this capability for advanced battery production education and Ferris and research at Fair State University is forward-thinking and economical to produce the workforce the battery industry needs. Developing battery production capabilities in Michigan, Big Rapids, will secure West Michigan dominance in battery technology for a rapidly changing automotive industry. However, we will also be developing the capability to pivot into many other industry sectors. The investments by the automotive industry in lithium battery production signal the importance of this technology in the supply chain. Let's see if there's any other quotes. Oh, right here. Gotion is a Silicon Valley-based subsidiary of Gotion High Tech, a company founded in 1998, based in Hefei, China. The company plans to build, according to MEDC. The Right Place, a Grand Rapids-based economic development group, also assisted with the project. The Right Place is honored to have played a role in bringing this transformational project to Big Rapids area, said Brent Case, the group's VP of Business Attraction. So, as you can see, we got one more. We got Kelly here. She was appointed Executive Director of Mecosta County Development Corporation. I guess we have a lot more. Ooh. I knew this video would take me quite a while because I have so much to go over. But we'll go over Kelly. Following the retirement of Mecosta County Development Corporation Director Jim Sandy, the board of directors for the organization went with the Right Place. In April of 2022, the MCDC, in partnership with the Right Place, hired Kelly as the executive director for the Mecosta County area. Her role is to lead community and economic development efforts in the county, meeting with local business owners and government officials, focusing on removing barriers to growth and providing resources for expansion, retention, and attraction of businesses. Over the past 8 months, she has met with employers and business leaders in the community and government officials and has attended community organization meetings, city commissions, yes. After 6 months in the position, she met with local government bodies to share her goals and accomplishments and give an update. When you look at the economic development and our role at the Right Place, we focus our retention, expansion, and attraction, she said during her presentation to Big Rapids commissioners. Economic development is a lot of different things. It is jobs. It is diversity. We want younger families to come here, and how can we do that? We work to provide jobs. We work on housing. We look at talent, pulling at Fair State University and other nearby colleges and trade schools to come here and establish businesses. These are things we focus on every day. Okay. Project Elephant. One major economic development opportunity that was already in the works when she started her position is Project Elephant, the potential electric vehicle battery component manufacturing facility for the Big Rapids Airport Industrial Park, as well as property in Green Township. Since starting in her position with the MCDC, she has been intimately involved in the project, meeting with officials from Mecosta County, Big Rapids Township, Green Township, and the city of Big Rapids regarding decisions they need to make with respect to the project. In addition, she has met with officials from the Right Place and the Michigan Economic Development Corporation to keep up to date on actions taken to move the project forward, keeping the community informed on those decisions. No offense to her, because I don't know her, but she's not doing a very good job. There's basically no transparency, and that's one of the main reasons why it's not just the Big Rapids Gotion deal, but also the Marshall Ford deal. It's like, they're not telling us everything. And we have to beg through FOIA for information. This is not how you should be doing business. We've done a lot in a very short time. Sorry, I'm going to look really quick. Yesterday, New Beginnings says that Thelen said the average would be $24.75 an hour. Thank you, New Beginnings. I need to listen to that. I have not yet. The Jim Chapman of Green Township and was it Chuck Thelen? I think it was Chuck Thelen. Were on a radio station 103.9 Big Rapids. And it was at 8:30 in the morning on yesterday. So I'm going to look into that. I have not found it and listened to it yet. So seems like a lot of retirements that left positions to be filled. Yeah, a lot has changed since 2020, don't you guys think? Corey says some customers could see an estimated $30 increase in their bill, Schilling said, based on data. Customers of Ohio Edison. I see. So their prices are going to go up, which is something that maybe I'm not talking about enough because that is an angle that I don't really look at. But yeah, obviously, it's a lot of energy is going to be needed for this plant, and energy is going to be an issue on purpose in the future. It already is in California with rolling blackouts and stuff, and it's like we're going to let this huge 550,000 foot plant take our energy. But that's a whole nother side tangent. I'm sorry. We said they met with city manager in Holland where there is a battery. She said they met with a city manager in Holland where there is a battery manufacturing facility that Randy Thelen put into place to ask about how the facility has impacted the community and get a feel for what it will be like if Project Elephant is completed, which was a positive experience. Well, why don't you tell me what they said? In September, the Big Rapids and Green Township Board of Trustees approved a 30-year Renaissance zone for the property the company is considered purchasing. The following month, the MEDC Strategic Fund Board voted to approve the Renaissance zone request as well as a major financial incentive package for the project. In the months ahead, what I really want to focus on for the boards that will have important decisions to make is to be transparent as possible. That includes what the asks of them might be, what the asks of the community might be, and keep everybody informed of what we will be working on as we move forward. Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you that has not been happening at all. Over the next few months, officials will be working on development agreements with the two townships, purchase agreements for the land, rezoning for certain parcels, site plan approvals, and building permits. Corey says, like during COVID, they had to shut down the Sterling Heights factory that builds the Dodge Ram. That was so the residents could have enough power during lockdowns. Yeah. Good point. The energy part of it, there's so many different angles, so many reasons why we should not accept this here. The wetlands being another one that I'm not discussing today, but I will be discussing. I have a video planned on wetlands coming up. I'm not going to go over the future projects, but yes, she is a key player. And no offense to her, but she's not doing a good job in the transparency section. So, the Green Township and the Big Rapids Township passed that Renaissance zone the end of September 26th. It was announced on October 5th that the battery plant by Whitmer was going to come to Big Rapids, Michigan. Shortly after that, the Big Rapids Township, they started asking questions, and then Project Gotion pulled out. But confidence lost in township supervisor over battery plant talks. This was February 21st of 2023. And this right here is is Bill Stanek, the township board supervisor, who is also on the board of trustees for, I think I closed it, unfortunately. But yes, he's the treasurer. He's a treasurer for MCDC. So the Big Rapids board wasn't aware of this, and they pushed through that Renaissance zone, and then they started asking questions, and they then got kicked out of the deal without even knowing about it. Like, the board found out that Gotion was just looking to go to Green Township and to stop working with Big Rapids Township through the Pioneer. Chuck Thelen actually talked to Kathy Crew, I think is her name, that is working on the story with the Pioneer. He talked to her instead of talking to the Big Rapids Township, saying, well, you know, they're basically, the Big Rapids Township was asking a lot of questions, and it's probably just going to be easier to work with Green Township. And then they found out, Big Rapids Township found out through the Pioneer that they're actually back in the deal. And they're like, what if we don't want to be in the deal? So there's all kinds of things that are going on that are, like, messed up. Yes, the transparency is awful. And now, here's the thing. One of the Thelens said, well, this guy knew. This guy knew, and if he didn't tell the board, you know, what am I supposed to do about it, basically? And it's like, so he probably did know all this stuff and kept it from the board because he knew the board would actually ask questions, which is good on them. You need to ask questions. So these people, I'm thankful that they asked questions and didn't just roll over and allow this company to buy Michigan land. Big Rapids Township Board of Trustees has expressed concerns over the way Township Supervisor Bill Stanek has handled the negotiations with Gotion for the potential battery component manufacturing facility to be built in Big Rapids and Green Townships. A special meeting was called in January to discuss concerns among board members regarding Supervisor Bill Stanek, including misinformation, lack of information, unethical conduct, and conflict of interest. Stanek told the Pioneer he does not feel there's any truth to the accusations and therefore has no further comment. During the special meeting, it was stated that the township clerk, Hannah Saez, that during an interview with Channels 9 and 10 News, Stanek said Gotion is not a Chinese company. Board members expressed concerns the statement was misleading and inaccurate. There are two main concerns of our residents, the company's origin and the environment, Trustee Penny Curry said during the meeting. If we cannot get the first one right, how are we supposed to get the second one? I don't understand why you don't think it is misleading. We want you to recant your statement to 9 and 10 News. Stanek said he would speak to the attorney about recanting. Trustee Carmen Bean then made a motion that they appoint an individual to recant the statement and to revoke the township policy that Stanek is spokesperson for the township. Bean told the Pioneer that the board voted to have the statement recanted and appointed him to speak to 9 and 10 News, which he did. At this time, Stanek remains the spokesperson for the township with respect to the Gotion project. So during the January 12th meeting, there was accusation that Stanek breached the township's ethics code and failed to disclose a conflict of interest with regards to the Gotion project due to his position on the Mecosta County Development Corporation Board. Bean said the board's concerns are based on the lack of information flow. With the Gotion project, a lot of information was flowing everywhere except to the township board. We were finding out things, reading them in the Pioneer or from the Green Township meetings. We were asking for things, and Stanek said, I can't give them to you, or I don't have anything. I haven't talked to anyone. Bean said he contacted Randy Thelen at the right place, and Thelen, was surprised they had not received any information because there was nothing being sent out that they could not have seen. See, here's the thing, though. They've been doing that a lot. I watched the Michigan Strategic Fund board meeting yesterday, live streamed it if you want to look at it, and one person came on in the first hour. A bunch of people from Marshall, Michigan were saying why they don't want the plant there and how there was no transparency and they didn't know. It was exactly like this Gotion deal, just no transparency, backdoor deals going on. And one person came on and said, I don't understand why you guys didn't know about it. We've had meetings and this is part of the master plan in your development plan for Michigan or whatever. Like, basically, you should have known about it, which is so misleading and disingenuous, because if you really want someone to know about it, you put it in the media, you talk about it, you promote it. They know how to do that. They have plenty of money to do that. So the fact that they kept it all on the hush, but technically it was public, it's gaslighting. It's bull. I don't appreciate that. I can't remember the guy's name that went on there, but yeah, he went on there and said, you guys should have known about it. It's part of the master plan. And yet they don't tell you what the master plan is or where you can find it. I would like to know. I already know, but I want them to say it. I want them to say it out loud. That's the master plan. The sustainable development plan. A comprehensive plan of the 21st century, guys. It's just what it is. All right, so breaking news, Big Rapids Township no longer part of the Gotion battery factory deal. I don't know if they are or not a part of it. I don't know if they know if they are or not. But doesn't matter because Green Charter Township fully endorses Gotion battery plant project in Mecosta County. Who loves Gotion? Henry Ford and Thomas Edison? No, I'm just kidding. You said now they both love Gotion. Who's both? After Friday's announcement, Gotion is ceasing talks with the Big Rapids Township to build its battery component plant in Mecosta County, bringing in over $5 billion to the area. Green Charter Township on Monday announced its full support of the project. Now, this was February 27th, so a month ago, and a lot can happen in a day, let alone a month. So again, I don't know if Big Rapids is in or not, but Green Charter Township is 100% in. Green Charter Township Supervisor Jim Chapman said from the start, the goal was to bring Gotion Inc. battery component manufacturing facility to the community, and they will continue to work towards that goal. What it will do for us economically, what it will do for our families, okay, yeah. Chapman said, while it is unfortunate that Big Rapids Township has had issues with the project, and Gotion halting plans to build Big Rapids Airport Industrial Park is a result of that, Green Township will adapt to the changes. At a couple of points throughout the last year, we were going to lose the project entirely, and it came back, and we adapted. Now we have this change, and we will adapt. We will do this for the community, he said. Which side of the 18-mile road those buildings go on is entirely irrelevant. Whether it is all on the north side, all on the south side, or split in whatever format, I don't care, we don't care. It still benefits the whole community, and what is the goal? And that is the goal. Where the project stands right now, Chapman said there has been an informal consensus made between the company and the Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy regarding some wetlands issue. An informal consensus. Again, I got a video on wetlands, and I mean, Eagle is just a centralized power that will control what development happens. It'll say that there's wetlands here if it doesn't want that, and it'll say we can move the wetlands if it wants it, the development project. So it's like there's no accountability. Eagle's too big. It used to be like 4 different programs, and now it's all one giant program. So at one point, let's see, he added, there are also waiting for formal approval of the money. They need money, which they got it, unfortunately. They got our taxpayer dollars. Down here, I'll just do this. Like I said before, there are a handful of extremely vocal opponents, but it still runs 90 to 95% in favor of this project. Now, shortly after that, a flyer went out to all of Green Township. Whoever did that, you're amazing. Because 90 to 95% of people did not know about the project. So how can you say that they're for it if they don't know about it? I have this from Jim Chapman. I'm going to read it if I have time. I'm going to move on really quick. To this.
How the rail, another one.
Discussed with this plant proposal.
Over a proposed battery plant in Mecosta County took center stage nationally this week after some concerns were aired on a national news outlet. The proposed battery plant has been the center of controversy for months now over concerns about the impact it would have on the local community. 9 and 10's Jody Meeson spoke with Gotion and Green Charter Township officials over the new issue that has suddenly pushed them into the national spotlight. She's live in the newsroom with more. Hey, Jody.
Eric, several issues, including the impact on the environment, human rights issues, and local manufacturing, have been discussed with this plant proposal, but now all of that is background noise as a new concern emerges.
Took a phone call today, wanted to talk about how the plant was going in and taking up 100 feet of space along the river. Another one wanted to talk about how the rail transport of the product when we don't have rail here.
That is, again, gaslighting, so disingenuous, and you could see how like he scoffs at people's concerns. And I said this in another video. That's what bugs me the most. Again, I don't know this guy from Adam. I've never really met him and talked to him in person, but the stuff that he says online, on Facebook, the way he treats his constituents or whatever, his residents' concerns, the people that voted for him, or anybody, his neighbors. It doesn't even matter. His neighbors' concerns. He has this elitist attitude that really bothers me. It's like, you might not think that those are a concern, but you are, supposed to be a leader in Green Township. You're a supervisor, You should take those people's concerns into consideration, and you can leave them, but you shouldn't scoff at them or make fun of them and act like our concerns are crazy. Now, he's sitting there, we don't even have a rail system. And I have a video coming up about rail systems. So I got a lot of videos planned, and there's just not enough time in the day to do them. But the rail system in Michigan is going to be used according to Chuck Thelen. He is the one that actually brought up that there was a train station nearby, and that is one of the reasons why they liked this area. And now the train station does go up, it goes through Newaygo and Grant. Sorry, Grant's first. Grant, Newaygo, White Cloud. There is a train. I'm going to show that to you. But yeah, he acts like...
As far as footage, I mean, we're back better a mile from the river.
I don't know. I heard that it was less than a mile. But either way, the water on the river, it's not just the shoreline. Obviously, water trickles in underneath the ground. So if it's within a mile, it can still contaminate the water, okay?
Green Charter Township has been busy fielding calls. A lot have been about concerns that Green Township says were way off the mark. Just like this latest claim that Gotion has an allegiance to the Chinese Communist Party.
I'm surprised that people are making the claims as wildly as they are. The other claim that we're going to inundate Big Rapids with 250 migrant workers from China, that makes no sense. We will bring our centers of experts to help set up the equipment and the process. That count will probably be somewhere between 20 to 50 people.
Gotion Vice.
I'm sorry that I think somewhere I have where 200 was mentioned. 200 Chinese residents was mentioned somewhere. So now they're pulling back and saying, oh, it's only going to be 20 to 50. But now how can I trust you? I mean, obviously I can't trust you anyway. You're working for Gotion, and you're saying that you don't have any Chinese origins, even though your president is a Chinese billionaire. Like, his family is a billionaire family. So...
Vice President of North American Operations, Chuck Thelen, tells us those claims are baseless. He says Gotion is a publicly traded international company founded in 2015.
Over the next week, I plan to do a number of interviews and press releases to try to say what the truth is, because the truth has not been out there yet.
He says Gotion and Green Charter Township plan to do better to refute those accusations and be more transparent.
We've been a little lacking in that, and I'll admit that's our fault. But we're going to fix that problem right now. Now that we were far enough down the due diligence path, we can be a little more forthcoming.
Now that we're down the due diligence path, we can be more forthcoming. Like, who voted for you? And who voted for these people that have been on the due diligence path? I know I keep saying that, but it really bugs me. It's like, who the hell are you? New Beginning says there's a creek on the property that feeds into the river. Isn't it called like Denzel? Like DNZL or something like that? Someone had mentioned it when you listen to the radio interview tomorrow. He said that that was a mistake on his part. He was basing it off from a certain percentage. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to watch. What did you think, New Beginnings, of the, or rather listen, what did you think of the radio interview that happened? And how long was it?
We will have those conversations.
Thalen says he looks to another instance when a foreign entity, Ice Mountain, wants.
Yeah, I'm not gonna keep going with this. Bringing this Ice Mountain crap up really bugs me too. It's people didn't want the Ice Mountain either. And I don't like that Nestle is stealing our water and putting it in bottled water and selling it to people around the world. I don't like it.
Wanted to put a plant in Stanwood.
Nestle, I don't know if it's the same CEO, but a few years back said water is not a basic human right. I don't know if it's the same CEO, but like, yeah, they want to sell air to you, okay? They want to sell whatever they can sell to you.
There is a...
Whoops. Okay. Bouncing all kinds of places. So we got the township boards in here. That was September 26th. Then we have October 5th with Governor Whitmer announcing the project. And we have December, Green Township sold out to Gotion. That's my opinion. Yep, they sold out to Gotion. Stanic's face here. And then February of 2023, we have Paul Bullock, who is the MCDC board member, has been at 27 years as the Mecosta County Administrator, and is considered a neutral party to select the questions for April 5th. So I got him in here as well. Corey says Nestle controls so much food and pet food. I know. Yeah, everything is becoming more and more centralized. And it accelerated in 2020. So, I think I do have something really quick about Paul. And then I have a few more things really quick about Dr. Bill Pink, and then we're done. This was a very long one, but I thank you guys for hanging out with me, and we've got a few more things to go, but please hit the like button if you liked, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, we'll get into this. So Governor Whitmer appoints Paul Bullock to the MIDC. This was October 15th of 2021, so the deal was already in place. If he knows about it or not, I don't know. October 15th, Governor Whitmer announced the appointment of Paul E. Bullock of Everett to the Michigan Defense Commission. I don't even know what this Defense Commission will do. Mr. Bullock is Controller and Administrator of Mecosta County. He holds a Bachelor of Arts of American History from Spring College. He is appointed to represent members submitted by the Senate Majority Leader, commencing October 15th, 2021, and expiring April 1st, 2025. So, recognized by Governor Whitmer herself. Wanted to put that in there. I have another video to share with you, and this just was Ferris State University President Bill Pink the other day. March 23rd, 2023.
Hi Bulldogs, this is Bill Pink. Here recently I've been made aware of certain things that have been said about our university. And these things are at best rumors and at worst just falsehoods.
He looks a little nervous, I want to say that. And real quick, New Beginnings, it lasted an hour and a half. Cool, thank you. I'll look into that and I'll listen to that. And then Osea, I don't know how to say that, I'm sorry. I should know the counties in Michigan. I'm just a dummy. They lost a lawsuit against Nestle, trying to prevent them from pumping additional water. Ugh. I didn't know that. Yeah, see, I don't like that. I don't want Nestle here. I never did. So when they bring that crap up as if, look at this is here and it's just fine. No, it's not. We didn't want that either, and it's not just fine.
The first thing I would tell you is please pay attention to what you listen to. Think about what you listen to. Think about what you're hearing. And always ask yourself the question about truth. So I've come to be made aware that with this present project that we have going on here in Big Rapids and in Mecosta County, a project that is with a company known as Gotion that is looking to bring 2,300 jobs to this region. 2,300 jobs. And from what I understand of the conversations that have happened, 2,300 good paying jobs to many of the citizens that live around this area, who live here, who work here, who play here in Mecosta
Is there a buzzing?
County. I think that's an interesting opportunity for a region. But what I've also heard is that because of some of the rhetoric that is out there, things being said about the company, that's not for me to address. What I need to talk about is our university. Because when a falsehood is being said about my university, it means something to me. So let me address the falsehood that I heard just last evening that had to do with our university housing and planning to house, I believe it was said 300 nationals, Chinese nationals, who will be working.
No one said 300. People said 200. I didn't hear 300. Why are you saying 300?
Working for this company. First of all, one of the best things about hearing things is to find out if you're hearing it first, second, third, fourth, fifth hand. Let me give it to you firsthand. Because these kind of things are not approved without me being the one saying yes, as president of this university. And as
But you have to remember that he became president in 2022, and this deal was going through, it started going through in the middle, let's say, of 2021, at the very earliest that I could find. It could have been before that even. But yeah, so how do you know that about the deal before?
President of this university, I can tell you that no one from that company has had a conversation with me of asking Fair State University to house anyone on this campus. I've had no meeting that has said that. Now that's your first-hand account. No meeting.
Yeah, you haven't had a meeting, but what about your predecessor? This is how they get around shit. If you only watch this and you don't verify what he says, then you're going to possibly believe him. That's why you have to verify every single thing any of these people say. And when I say these people, I mean powerful people that work for development corporations that are pushing the sustainable development plans.
That has said that. And if that meeting were to happen, and if it would have happened, I would say that on this video. That hasn't happened. Always firsthand. It's important to get truth. And it's important that if the truth is doubted or subject to question, please come to the source. And that is why the source of this fine university, that this university is putting this out, so that people in this region, in this state, and across the country can know. Here's where Fair State sits on this. You will find that you're going to hear a lot of things said. And I mean, you will have sources that are coming from the local, state, and even national media outlets about rumors, about what's happening. And you're going to hear so many things. I have heard about this idea of Fair State housing individuals. I've heard the number 100, 200, 300. I even heard 500 earlier this week. I always find it interesting because I'm thinking, I think if that was true, that I would know it, because I would be the one approving it. And I can tell you none of that is. None of it is true. We are a partner. We're a partner to companies around the state, partners to companies around the country. And as we become partners and as we do our work, it's important for us to prepare the workforce for a state that is on the move when it comes to all industries, because that's what we do. We are Fair State University. It's what we do. That's why we're Bulldogs. So please make sure, it's important to make sure you understand, here's who we are, here's where we are. And always come to the source to find out truth. And that's what we have shared with you today.
And that is what we have shared with you today. I believe you. Oh, this came from the Midwesterner. I mean, Kathy Crew and Pioneer are the ones that published it, but I found it from the Midwesterner. I recommend you put the Midwesterner.news or /news. I'll put that link down below. I suggest you bookmark it because that whoever is running that is doing a great job. Among the many rumblings surrounding the proposed Gotion Inc. electric vehicle battery component manufacturing facility project in Mecosta County is the idea that 200 to 300 Chinese nationals will be brought to the area for the initial startup of the plant and will be housed at Ferris State University. And New Beginning says in another statement, he said no meeting yet. Yeah, it might cover it in here, but this is going to be about the previous administration. In an email to the Pioneer, Big Rapids Township Treasurer Penny Curry stated that during a meeting in October, she spoke with Gotion Global Vice President Chuck Thelen regarding the question of bringing the Chinese nationals for the initial startup. He, Thelen, voluntarily acknowledged that the company would bring 200 to 300 nationals. Okay, there it is. 200 to 300 nationals to our area to initiate the startup of the plant, citing that they would have the necessary extent of knowledge to initiate the beginning stages of the plant. Now, that's what Curry said. Real quick, I don't know if they have secrets, battery secrets, that they don't want to share. I heard something about that. I can't verify, but that would mean that people would have to stay, Chinese people would have to stay, and I've heard that there are, and keep their secrets, but help produce the anodes and cathodes. So I don't know how true that is. So when asked where these folks would live, he simply stated we would build housing for them. When we questioned where, he ceased talking about the topic. Curry said shortly after the meeting they were made aware of the suggestion that Ferris State University could house them. When the question was posed to Thelen regarding that possibility, she said his answer was that Ferris State University would do whatever necessary to partner with Gotion. Due to NDAs, she said, he was unable to give a direct answer. So again, the question was posed to the Big Rapids Township Supervisor, Bill Stenick, who has also signed an NDA, and he refused to give a decisive answer. During a town hall meeting in December, she said FSU President Dr. Bill Pink, also under an NDA, stated he knew nothing of an agreement between Gotion and Ferris State University for housing. News Services social media manager at Ferris State University, Sanda Goldst, referred to the Pioneer to a YouTube message from Pink addressing the rumors about housing. In the video, he states, okay, we just watched that. I have heard the rumor. He said the startup crew will come from the plant in China and possibly from plants in India, Vietnam, and Germany. Oh, let me back up. I'm sorry. Pink stressed that it is always important to get the truth. If the truth is subject to question, one should go to the source. That is why we're putting this out, so people in this region and the state will know this is where FSU sits on this. Always come to the source to find the truth. Thelen said that initially his best guess as to what they would need for the startup was around 200 to 300 experienced operators to train the employees that would be working at the facility because they typically want 10% of the workforce. He said he has since been corrected in that assessment. It will be roughly between 20 and 30, so we're looking at about 25 people, Thelen said. The expectation is they will be here for up to 9 months, because when you bring over equipment you have to train the operators and train the trainers. They will be helping to educate workers on how to operate the equipment and go back home. He said the startup crew will come from the plant in China and possibly from plants in India, Vietnam, and Germany. Okay. I have also heard the implication that the jobs will be filled by a bunch of Chinese. He said anyone that comes over will be in addition to those 2350 jobs. They are not taking American jobs. They are not taking an active role in production. They are here to set up and do training, and then they are gone. Okay, so we're just supposed to trust you. Okay. Curry said the suggestion that FSU will be housing this Chinese nationals has been posed a number of times, and she finds it curious that it is just now being addressed by the university. The direct question to Ferris State University needs to be, has anyone affiliated with FSU had any conversation in this regard to Mecosta County Development Corporation, Michigan Economic Development Corporation, the Right Place, etc., she said. Great questions. Regarding the question of housing workers on FSU campus, Thelen said he did not have a conversation with former President David Eisler before he left the university. So, is it possible that the prior president made the deal, and so that's why he can sit there and say that he didn't make any deal, he wasn't at no meeting? Well, that's the truth. But does that mean that Ferris State didn't say they would house any? You know, they get around with their words, man. They try to trick you. I said something about having to bring people over to build a plant. He volunteered that we could possibly use the conference room and whatever we needed over there, said Thalen. I mentioned there may be need for housing, and he said we could talk about maybe a temporary housing conversation, but we have no agreement whatsoever. I have not had this conversation with Dr. Pink, and he does not know of this conversation. This is just between David Eisler and myself. Currently, there is no definitive plans for housing any workers that come to the area to work on the construction of the facility for the startup of the plant. But yeah, I mean, they're going to come here, and it's going to be taxpayer dollars paying for them to come here. Thelen said in regards to the fear-mongering that is happening concerning the Communist Party within the company, he reiterates the official statement that Gotion High-Tech is a publicly traded international company with a diverse board of directors, including citizens from Germany, the USA, and China. If you look into the board of directors, they're all involved with the World Economic Forum. And I could do a video another day on that, but this video will not be housing that information. But I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to show you a couple more partners. And then I got to make lunch for my mother-in-law. The majority of board votes is owned by the VW Group. I heard something earlier that was contrary to that, but that is wrong, he said. The voting majority of the board members are German, with a couple from the US as well. The official statement from the company is that within Gotion North American organization, which is responsible for the Big Rapids plant ownership, that there is no CCP organizational influence. No person on the team is a member of CCP. There is no CCP organizational influence to the North American Gotion organization. There's not a slim chance of influence from any political party to Gotion Inc. We follow regional and federal regulations and requirements within all our NA facilities that have been operational since 2015. Gotion Inc. has current operations in California and Ohio, servicing our NA customers, and is on contract with the U.S. Department of Energy for the USA DC Group to assist the establishment of NA battery standards. So, Gotion is partnered with, GM and Volkswagen, yes. We have been here for 8 years. We have 2 facilities. No one's ever raised questions about this, Dylan said, because I want the community to feel comfortable about us. Our lawyers are putting together a declaration for the CIFIS review. That declaration is voluntarily submitted. I don't know about that. I heard a rumor. I heard a little birdie say something about going and I guess reporting to CIFIS. I'm not sure on that. But if someone initiated it, which the Committee of Foreign Investment in the United States, committee authorized to review certain transactions. Okay, so I heard that someone submitted for authorization to this committee that was not Gotion. And so they're saying that declaration is voluntarily submitted. I think that they might have been like, yeah, we'll submit it, but they might have been forced to as well. Could be a little bit of both. I don't know for sure on that. Additionally, he has spoken with Republican Congressman John Molinar and made him aware and agreed that it would be appropriate for him to request a committee on foreign investment in the United States review as well. We welcome that because we want to make sure there's no improprieties. So, let me see. World Economic Forum. Our partners. And now we're going to go really quick to see that there's a lot of Chinese companies working with World Economic Forum. They are a partner at the table. Come down here. Let's see. China Bank, China Construction Bank, China Energy Investment, China Group, which I think Gotion might be linked with this group. I have to look into that for sure, but for some reason my brain picks this word up. And since I've been doing a lot of research on Gotion, I'm linking the two. It could be a false link. I'm completely transparent with you. China Merchants Group, China Petrochemical Corporation, China Union Pay, China Data Group. Yeah, there you go. A lot of Chinese groups sitting at the table. So I gave a lot of information today. After lunch, I will work on putting all of the links that I've shared with you in the description. It might take me a little while, but I do plan on doing another video, if possible, later today on the April 5th meeting. So if you have time to stop by, if I do get to do it, I will have it posted around 1:30. So thank you for hanging out with me, guys. I really appreciate you and the information that you've shared with me as well. Let's see, Corey says they are completely Chinese and are on the stock exchange. Yes. Yeah, I've done several videos. I know for a fact that that it is a Chinese, that the CCP will be involved. It's just indirectly, like, so they can say what they say, I suppose, or they're just lying. I mean, people lie. But it's a Chinese company. The rules governing the listing of shares. Okay. Yep, I agree, Corey. I've read, rather, the Articles of Association from Gotion themselves, and CCP is a huge influence, so. Alright, I gotta go make lunch. I thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.